What's going on, guys? Falcone here, and I hope you are prepared to drop because Halo 3 ODST finally has a release date on PC. The game is launching on September 22nd. That is next Tuesday, a week tomorrow, if you're watching this, the day that it came out. And this is so exciting. I'm going to explain why. So Halo 3 ODST was originally just an expansion to Halo 3. That was its idea as a concept. What would it be like if you didn't play as a super soldier in a Halo game? What would it be like if you just played as a dude? Obviously not just a dude. The ODST is a soldier. In fact, he's an orbital drop shock trooper. That means his training allows him to be dropped from space in a drop pod. It's going to crash land on Earth. The pods or the hatch is going to pop open, and the ODST is going to start fighting immediately. That is what they are trained for. But they're not augmented. They're not super soldiers. And in fact, the mission they're embarking on in Halo 3 ODST goes a little bit wrong. See, the plan is to drop onto the Covenant corvette that is floating over the planet Earth and kill the Prophet of Regret, who is hiding inside. But things don't go as planned when the Covenant corvette enters slip space as the pods are dropping. You, as the rookie, get completely blown off course and your pod crashes. And you're almost killed, but you're not. Instead, you're separated from your squad. It's nighttime. Several hours have passed since you crashed when you regain consciousness, and you find yourself in the streets of New Mombasa, alone, with brutes, grunts, jackals, Covenant everywhere. And that is where the story begins. You have two missions in Halo 3 ODST. Mission 1, survive. Do not get killed by the Covenant roaming the streets. And Mission 2, regroup with your squad. What happened to them? It's been several hours since the crash, and everyone in the squad's been doing their own thing. As the rookie, you travel the streets of New Mombasa, finding objects, artifacts, if you will, hints of what have happened to your squad mates. And upon finding those hints, the game flashes back several hours sooner, and it shows you what that squad mate has been doing, and that's where the missions come in. So for example, at first you find Dare's helmet, you flash back to where Dare and Buck crashed, and you play the first full mission of the game as Buck. Halo 3 ODST is so much fun because it's gameplay that was polished and perfected since Halo 3, and nothing illustrates that better than the new weapons added into the sandbox. The silenced SMG and the suppressed pistol, other way around. The suppressed SMG and the silenced pistol are the stars of the show, as these are the weapons that you will spawn with a lot of the time. The SMG is perfect for wiping out a brute shield, and then you'll switch to the pistol, pop a brute in the head to finish the job. These weapons feel so satisfying to use. They are really accurate as well, which feels fantastic in the campaign experience. And they feel really good in Halo 3's multiplayer too, more on that in a bit. Whereas Halo 3 has some really amazing 10 out of 10 missions, it also has a couple of duds that aren't quite considered up to scratch. Cortana. If Halo 3 has missions that are like 10 out of 10 missions, and a couple that dwindle down to maybe 7 or maybe even 6 out of 10, Halo 3 ODST is cool because while it doesn't quite reach the same heights that Halo 3 does, it never goes anywhere near the lows. You're talking a solid lineup of 9 out of 10 missions. The game is short. It's not going to take you long to get through it, but it's still such an amazing deal with the Master Chief Collection. If you don't already own the Master Chief Collection or Xbox Games Pass, do yourself a favor and give this a go. It is a fantastic dropping in point for the Halo franchise, as it is, in theory, it is a side game. It doesn't really push Master Chief's story in any way. It's just the story of what this group of soldiers do while Master Chief is off fighting the Covenant and doing the big important things. You guys are on boots on the ground, trying your best to survive and do whatever you can to help the war. But of course, Halo 3 ODST's excitement doesn't just come from the campaign, it comes from the additional modes. Firstly, Firefight Mode. Firefight was Bungie's answer to Gears of War's Horde mode. It is you in a relatively small arena and some buddies with an onslaught of Covenant forces that are just going to keep spawning in waves, rounds, and sets. You want to survive, score as many points as you can, and kill as many enemies as you can. And let me tell you, Firefight Mode, specifically in Halo 3 ODST, is stupidly fun. I think my favorite achievement in video game history, my favorite achievement I've ever had, is the Endure achievement. And hilariously, when this came out originally, it was worth 0 gamer score. It was one of a few achievements that you had to complete back in the Halo 3 days if you wanted to get your hands on Recon armor. But in order to successfully get the Endure achievement, you had to survive until set 5 on heroic difficulty with 4 players. Now, that isn't as easy as it sounds, because this is an achievement that takes a solid 2 hours to complete, and if you run out of lives, game over, start again. And man, I definitely failed this a few times when I first tried to do it when I was younger. But we got there eventually, and honestly, I cannot wait to replicate this achievement again when Halo 3 ODST comes out. I gotta tell you, a lot of my friends, my real life friends, they're really stoked to play some Firefight. But in addition to Firefight, there is the multiplayer. Now, back when Halo 3 ODST originally came out on the Xbox 360 a couple years after Halo 3, it came with 2 discs. There was the campaign disc and there was the multiplayer disc. In fact, here it is. Here's my original copy on the Xbox 360. 2 discs. The campaign disc, this was Halo 3 ODST's Firefight and campaign modes, and the Halo 3 definitive multiplayer disc. This is literally just Halo 3's multiplayer with every single map built in. Now, the reason that's so exciting is because by the time Halo 3 ODST came out, there had been 3 map packs, with Halo 3 ODST bringing out the 4th map pack. Obviously, back in the olden days of getting DLCs and downloading them, it made things run a little bit slower when you had to like load the maps off of your drive, not being loaded with the discs together. Sometimes things could go wrong, sometimes things would fail to load. But with Halo 3 ODST's disc, everything's on the disc ready to go. And it was just a very cool experience putting in that disc for the first time, getting a slightly different menu screen and all that kind of thing. Ah man, I like Halo. But anyways, tangent aside, what does that mean for today, right now? What is happening with Halo 3's multiplayer when Halo 3 ODST comes out on PC? Well, actually, quite a lot. Halo 3 has been suffering from some weird hit detection issues ever since it launched on the Master Chief Collection. I've never fully understood exactly what's been going on, but basically, Halo 3's battle rifle, for example, has not been behaving itself properly, but with this update, it will be. I already experimented with this with the Halo 3 ODST Insider flight program. I was part of the testing, and it felt good. The Halo 3 battle rifle in that flight felt really good. The hit detection was... It felt like a different game. This improved accuracy with the battle rifle, it made such a big difference. But as well as the improved hit detection, we're getting new weapons in Halo 3. A game that's over 10 years old, new weapons. The Suppress SMG, the Silenced Pistol, and the Brute Plasma Rifle, all from Halo 3 ODST, are being added into Halo 3's multiplayer. You can forge them into any maps you want, you can experiment, you can use them, it's awesome. And there's a playlist that I'm guessing is going to be a rotational thing, which is the Halo 3 Recon playlist, where you'll spawn with the SMG and the pistol, and oh, they feel so good in Halo 3's multiplayer. They're not quite one-for-one copies because obviously the team at 343 had to balance everything. The pistol has a slower rate of fire than the one in ODST, but it's super accurate and it's really satisfying to use. So with all of that being said, again, Halo 3 ODST launches on PC on September 22nd. That is next Tuesday. If you're playing on Xbox, you're still going to get the update with the better hit detection, with the weapons, and with Firefight Mode. That's going to be coming on the same day. And then on September 23rd, I will be starting my Halo 3 ODST Legendary All Skulls On playthrough on Twitch. That is twitch.tv/Falcone hosts. We've done Halo Reach, we've done Halo CE, we've done Halo 3, we've done some of Halo 2. Halo 2, it's a hard game. But our Halo 3 ODST Legendary All Skulls On run begins next Wednesday. You don't want to miss it. Me and my squad mates screaming at each other. It's always a good time. And if you're interested in catching my Halo 3 Legendary All Skulls On runs, they'll be available in this playlist on screen now. So go ahead, check that out. Final couple episodes of that coming soon. But if you want to watch the full thing, make sure you tune in on Twitch. Thank you so much for watching. Prepare to drop. And I'll see you in the next one.